Good morning. Thank you, Praveen, Maulik, Rahul, Aditya, and all those who have been eagerly listening to the deliberations which have been going on. And I think the three topics of today, innovation, self-reliance, and sustainability, cannot be separated out. They are essentially different parts of the same coin. Sustainability and innovations are the two sides, and self-reliance is the edge of that particular coin. So the three parts of the coin are explained here. And I'm going to dwell upon each of these topics in a bit more detailed way. As was pointed out by Maulik, and also Prashant insisted, that innovation is required in education, innovation is required in research, and innovation is required in supply chain, or for that all the activities which are involved in chemical sector. It has already started with government's national education policy introduction in 2020. Innovation in education has already started. Now this is going to make a huge change as far as the quality and ability of the engineers which are going to come out. For example, it tells you that every year of engineering is clearly defining the skill set required at the end of that particular year, and the student is likely to be assessed on the basis of that skill set, what he possesses. At the first year, he'll have a certificate. At the second year, he'll have a diploma. At third year, he will have a degree. And at fourth year, he'll have honors degree. And each of these will go hand in hand with a clearly defined skill set. So this, you will see maybe 5-10 years down the line, the impact of the same. Innovation in chemical sectors, I would just like to remind all those CEOs who are sitting here to go back to their early days. And this has been my observation. You always find that as you grow, your risk-taking abilities reduce. When you see that you want to start an organization, you want to start something, you have an innovative idea, and you try to exploit that particular innovative idea. And you grow to maybe annual turnover of 50 crores, 100 crores, 150 crores, 200 crores. And then you are producing more and more, and you find there is a challenge in the market. So the focus shifts from manufacturing to marketing. And this goes on again till about a turnover of about 500 crores. And once it goes beyond 500 crores, the finance guys take over. And all the innovation in finance will far outweigh whatever technological innovations which you will bring in, unless that technological innovation is disruptive in nature. Now, whenever technological innovation is disruptive in nature, please try to accept the fact that you have to take a fall, at least for 1 quarter, 2 quarters, or maybe even a year, before you can then catapult from the usage of that disruptive technology. Now, even in academic sector, I cannot afford to continue to work in one particular area of research throughout my research career. Every 5 or 6 years, I need to change it, but accept the fact that when I change that area, my productivity in terms of publications, innovations is going to go down. So for a couple of years, till I establish myself, I will not be as productive as I was before. And that is what the CEOs are afraid of, because they want to sustain themselves on the basis of every quarter rather than a long term. So when you consider self-reliance, definitely self-reliance is there, and it requires an industry to take up certain risks. Based on my experience of working as a consultant, I come up and suggest a new idea. The question which I get most common is, पहले किसने किया है इधर? That is the real put-off question for an innovator. Can't India do something for the first time? Why aren't we so afraid? And why do we have that mentality that Indians cannot invent? Now, the only thing which you see is the jugaad. Why jugaad has come? And you see the kind of innovations which is happening in MSMEs, it far outweighs the innovations which are happening in larger corporates. Only those which put in significant amount of money from their profits into R&D. Companies like Procter & Gamble, companies like Unilever, put almost 25 to 30% of their profits in R&D, and that's what allows them to keep innovating and come up with new products, new processes, so on and so forth. So innovation is an ongoing process. You cannot stop. You have to continue to invent all the time in whatever situations which you face and whatever solutions which you want to find. So innovation is a way of life and should be a way of life. If not, it is now. As far as self-reliance is concerned, Maulik said a very nice thing. Again, we are forgetting. 100 years ago, all our chemicals, technologies or chemicals were based on agricultural material as a raw material, ethanol and then ethanol-based products. And somewhere, the fossil fuel-based economy took over and we forgot our past. Whatever technologies were there, if you go and see at Sakarwadi in Somaya Organics, all those ethyl acetate, butyl acetate, everything was being done using biological resources. And now we go back again when we talk about the issue of sustainability, going back to the basic building block which is available. Professor Yadav also said about the availability of significant quantity of biomass, valorization of lignin, using lignin as a base material, a feedstock for a variety of chemicals. What is required? Come back to Maulik's advice. Research in basic chemistry, basic sciences. Today is the applied sciences of tomorrow. This realization has to come. And you find even in government, this realization is there. The different funding agencies in the government will fund different types of projects. Some projects will have only focus on publications or patenting. Some funding agencies will only support applied research and productization, so on and so forth. So we should be in a position to target accordingly. So self-reliance will come from innovation being allowed and a risk-taking ability of those who are innovating in whatever sector which they want to. And that is how the self-reliance will come. Otherwise, we will continue to import on the technologies and we will never be the first one to do that. Last part is the sustainability. Now, it's a very funny definition because everybody talks about sustainability without actually bringing in a time factor into it. Sustainability has a spatio-temporal variation. What is sustainable today for a beggar of surviving for 1 or 2 days is completely different than for a CEO who is living in a quarter. He has to sustain and show the bottom line is better in 1 quarter. You go to a corporate, let's say a board of directors, their term is typically 3 years or 5 years. So they will see to it that during their term, they sustain the company, allow the company to grow, so on and so forth, but not necessarily beyond that. Since Maulik said that government officials are going to be there and they are not there, I can also take a liberty. As far as politicians are concerned, next election is the sustainability. So 5-year period. So unless we bring in these time factor into sustainability, we will not be able to really address it properly. And it will not be a real sustainable solution. It will be a solution which again is temporary. So if you combine all this, what needs to be done as Indians? I would say that we need to be confident of ourselves. We need to remove this dependence on the outsiders in terms of they will find solutions to our problems, which is not going to happen. And even if they find solutions to our problem, they are not going to be optimum solutions for our surroundings, for our environment. They will be optimum solutions based on the basics of thermodynamics, so on and so forth. And last thing which I would like to say while concluding is thermodynamics tells us something. Thermodynamics tells us that the disorder has to increase. Now, if you are bringing order from disordered systems, like making a product is an orderly material and you are using various raw materials. Now, if you are going to convert disorderly raw materials into ordered product, disorder has to increase somewhere. Thermodynamics doesn't allow that. And this disorder manifests itself in terms of what you see as the vagaries of nature, floods, and unpredictable rainfall, changing weather pattern. These are nature's manifestation of disorder. And this needs to be taken into account when you are addressing the issues of sustainability. These three topics are really huge in nature and one can spend lifetime working on it, talking about it, but we need to have a concrete plan to execute each of them. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to say a few words here. Thank you, Praveen. I compliment on your insistence again and your perseverance to bring about all these people here on this occasion. Thank you.